All right, Shalom. First off, want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And it's a sincere Shalom to the Hakim out here that's doing and pushing his work in truth and in sincerity. Want to go on this video, okay, about, forgiveness, okay, when it comes to the doctrine, okay, and the truth. Now, Matthew 6 and 12, right, the Lord's Prayer, right, it says, and forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors, right? And, that's the prayer that we should be throwing up, constantly, okay? Word debt, okay? It says, that which is owed, that which is justly or legally due, a debt, metaphor for an offense or a sin, okay? And also it goes into a fault, okay? We make mistakes, we go off, we do the wrong thing, okay? But it's about how you're going to bounce back from that, okay? Now, you got some people who, they come into this truth and they expect everything to, be perfect, no flaws. Then when they see, a flaw and a brother or a certain situation may come, they hold on to it, and Jake just, don't have no mercy, okay, and they like holding grudges, okay. So when you go into the whole having resentment, okay, because of something that another brother done did, that could be leading you into temptation, okay? Because the mindset that you may have, which we got to change our mind when we come into this truth. We got to have a whole total different mindset, be a whole total different creature, okay? But I'm going to jump down to the 14th verse, right? It says, for if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Right? In the Amplified version, it says, for if you forgive others their trespasses, their reckless and willful sins, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, nurturing your hurt and anger with the results that it interferes with your relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahweh, then your Father will not forgive your trespasses. And that's to be the mindset that we have. That the scriptures is our foundation. Okay, if somebody, yes, we're talking about brothers. Okay, when somebody goes off, okay, you know, you have reconciliation. Okay, to reconcile. Okay, to make friendly again, which is important. The doctrine that we uh, follow, okay, is a doctrine of reconciliation. Okay, let's see. This is Colossians 1 and start at 20. It says, and having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself, by him I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. It says, and you that were sometime alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now has he reconciled. Okay? So let's get that reconciled.
Strong's G 604. Apakatalasso. Apakatalasso.
Apokatalasso, right? It says to reconcile completely, to reconcile back again, bring back a former state of harmony. Okay? Let's get that word harmony. Let's see what that says. A state of agreement, concord, or balance, whether in sounds, ideas, feelings, or social relationships. It implies a peaceful and pleasing arrangement of parts where things fit together well and create a sense of wholeness. Okay? Harmony in a relationship often implies a comfortable and relatively conflict free interaction where people feel happy and content. It's about finding a balance and understanding that allows individuals to coexist peacefully. Okay? So we gotta, you know, keep in mind about, being in harmony, okay, with one another. Okay? Being in unity, okay, together with one accord, okay, because we should be kingdom minded, thinking constantly about what the Heavenly Father's will is, okay. Yahweh is his name, but this is Philippians 2 and 1, right? It says, be like Yahweh Shah, right? It says, if there be therefore any consolation in Yahweh Shah, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that you be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, one of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Okay, now, when got that mindset, right? You're not, if you go, first off, if you go off and you do something wrong and the brother lets you know, hey man, that's going off, rebuking or admonishment, right? Warning you, and you got this mind, okay, what the scriptures say, you know, you putting all your pride and everything aside. The scriptures say that only by pride comes contention. Okay? So, we let the pride go, the ego go, we do all these things, because we want the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, to, have mercy on us, ultimately. Okay? Now, I'm reading in the Amplified version. It says, therefore, if there is any encouragement and comfort in Yahweh Shah, is there certainly is an in abundance. Is in abundance, right? It says, if there is any consolation of love, if there is any fellowship that we share in the Spirit, if there is any great depth of affection and compassion, make my joy complete by being of the same mind, having the same love toward one another, knit together in spirit, intent on one purpose, and living a life that reflects your faith and spreads the gospel, the good news regarding salvation through Yahweh, through faith in Yahweh Shah, right? Because you know we want something better than what we have right now, you know. And I'm saying this more so towards us who go off, right, and presenting the opportunity to be forgiven, you know, for our trespasses, right? Forgive our debts, right? The things that we do wrong, okay? Because Yahweh, He forgave our debts, forgive our trespasses. So we continue to have our trespasses, right? But then it also says, as we forgive those who trespass against us, right? So if somebody else may, go off or have a debt towards us, they offend us in some type of way. We got to also look at that, the mercy that comes along, that we're supposed to have in this faith. Okay? It says, do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit through factional motives or strife, but with an attitude of humility, being neither arrogant nor self-righteous. Regard others as more important than yourselves. Right? Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also look for the interests of others. Okay? So it's not about our own self, man. Okay? It says, have this same attitude in yourselves, which was in Yahweh. Look to him as your example in selfless humility. Okay? So Yahweh is, that example that we must follow if we want to, be in this faith and, endure unto the end. Matthew 18:21. Then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Yahweh saith unto him, I say not unto you until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. Right? Not holding on to grudges and, being selfish. Okay? It says, therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. Right? It says, when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. It says, but for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold. It says, and his wife and his children and all that he had in payment to be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay you all. It says, then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion and loosed him and forgave him the debt. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that thou owest. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, Have patience with me, and I will pay you all. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. It says, Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt, because thou desired me. Shouldest not thou also have had compassion on your fellow servant, even as I had pity on you? And his Lord was wroth, and delivered them to the tormentors till he should pay all that was due unto him. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if you from your hearts forgive not every one his brother their trespasses. Okay, that's a lot to unpack, but it's a lot to also think about. When it comes down to this, the Lord, he had mercy on us, and we gotta watch, how we conduct ourselves. 10,000 compared to 100, okay, is drastic. That's crazy when you look at it. For the Lord to forgive that, from the man, and then you going out there asking for less, and you stressing somebody out, for doing less, when we all owe the Lord way more than what we had, what we were forgiven. We owe the Lord a whole lot for what we done. Okay? So the act of, forgiving us, and the blessings that come along with being in his faith, if we are of the elect, and being forgiven, far outweighs the little petty bullshit that we deal with here on this side. Some people, they don't get that aspect. They don't want to be in harmony. They don't want to forgive. They don't want to apologize, and that's the mindset of a woman. Okay, but that's pretty much it, man. Lord, want to edify and want to say shalom until next time.